First win?
Shit.
Is he winning clearly?
Yeah.
Is Madrimov putting up a good fight, right?
Yeah, he's putting up a good fight. Stars make fights though, it's boxing.
Yeah, do you think Crawford looks good at 154 so far?
What'd you think?
Did you give it to tough fight?
Nice to meet you, man.
Well, they haven't announced the winner, but who do you expect to win, Mike?
Could have gone either way, and it feels like a waste of time when you lose 116, 112. It's like they're already filled out before. Everyone knows His Excellency. They're coming up to me. Oh.
I believe so. Yep. Think he looks a little rusty, or was it just a weight?
Tio, what was your reaction to that, man?
Israil winning?
But it was a very interesting fight, very smart fight.
Did you feel Israil did enough to win?
No, it's, how about compare my fight with Hearn?
If you're a boxing fan and never want to miss a fight, Boxing Showtimes is the app you need. This is a professional boxing schedule in your pocket that keeps you up to date on what's going on in the world of boxing. Enjoy watching fights in a bar, sipping a cold one? We got you. An interactive map with your local boxing bars is available to you at any time. And that's not everything. Set reminders, buy tickets, watch official highlights, get boxing news, and so much more. Download now.
Good fight, a controlled fight, a smart fight, very contained fight, very disciplined fight. Gave himself a chance. And he landed right hands against the southpaw stance.
Fight hype, just want to get your thoughts on the fight. Do you think the decision was appropriate?
Man, for me, that was a hard fight to judge. Some of those early rounds lacked, a lot of back and forth action, but they were computing a lot of data.
How do you think the fight played out?
I'm ready to fight, man.
I'm ready to fight him. You thought it was a clear victory for Bud?
Huh?
You thought it was a clear victory for Bud?
Shouldn't be getting hit like that with a guy that has only 11 pro fights.
Madrimov was a champion.
Yeah.
So it's enough for win the title.
Yeah. What about,
Excuse me.
how are you feeling now?
You shouldn't be having that much of difficulty with a guy that only has 11 pro fights.
How are you feeling with the return? When do you want to come back?
Huh?
When do you want to come back?
From next year.
Yeah? The plan is still Gervonta?
Huh?
The plan is still Gervonta?
You're supposed to throw right hands when you see a southpaw, but Crawford won the fight. But it was a fight that made Crawford,
So in those early rounds, it was hard for me to tell. I did think Terence won the 12th round, And, tonight I was kind of watching as a fan. I thought it was a close fight, but, I thought Terence did enough to pull out the victory.
Obviously extended to himself to where, he had to, he had a real fight on his hands.
With him winning the last round, because I thought it was about even going into that.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. And the obvious question, Caleb, Terence has been calling out Canelo. You were in the ring with the man. Do you
But Crawford showed out special.
So you agree he won?
Yeah, Crawford
Okay,
won.
and after that is Canelo? Is Canelo's ready for Canelo? I mean, that's 2 more weight classes.
Yeah, give him a little time, will you?
Face to face.
Eddie Hearn is adamant that Israil Madrimov, the underdog, will defeat Terence Crawford in their main event on August 3rd at BMO Stadium in Los Angeles, California, which is broadcast on ESPN plus PPV next month. Hearn's prediction of Israil Madrimov winning is understandable given that Crawford has bulked up for the fight and is anticipated to be slower and easier to hit. Crawford is not young, has never fought at 154, and is facing a puncher with a kind of power he has never experienced.
And look, he's in deep. Like, what's he had, 12 fights? But he's got a huge amateur pedigree.
Promoter Eddie Hearn has doubts that the brilliance of Terence Crawford, already a 3-weight champ, will transfer to junior middleweight, where he challenges WBA boss Israil Madrimov on August 3rd. Crawford is widely considered to be the pound-for-pound best fighter in the sport today. He won his first title down at lightweight against Ricky Burns back in 2014, and since then has gone on to conquer the junior welterweight and welterweight divisions, becoming undisputed in both.
These are the fights he's been after. He's not a spring chicken, but he's still young.
Now Crawford, 36, is aiming to win a belt in a 4th division when he takes on Madrimov. Terence Crawford's first ever victory as world champion was on my show in Glasgow against Ricky Burns. It was at 135 pounds. Hearn, speaking as Madrimov's promoter, told Matchroom Boxing, he won a world championship there. He moved to 140 and beat another one of our fighters there to become undisputed at 140 pounds. He moved to 147 and became undisputed at 147. Now he's moving to 154. Sooner or later, it's too much.
Don't rule him out of that fight. I look at Terence Crawford, who's a great character. It was nice to spend time with him. He's a cool.
Although Hearn accepts his fighter is the underdog going into the contest because of Crawford's past achievements, he believes that the size and power of the Uzbekistan fighter will be the deciding factor. I think when you're fighting someone who is a big 5'4" pounder with huge power, that is when you're going to get found out, Hearn continued. Madrimov is the underdog going into this fight, but I think this is the toughest fight of Terence Crawford's career so far. Crawford will already go down as a great, but at some point, when you move through the divisions, one of those steps is just a step too far.
And look, he's in deep. Like, what's he had, 12 fights? But he's got a huge amateur pedigree. These are the fights he's been after. He's not a spring chicken, but he's still young.
Fans see 37-year-old Crawford as a gimme for WBA junior middleweight champion Madrimov. Crawford looked amazing in his most recent bout, which took place on July 29th, 2023 against Errol Spence Jr. Tim Tissue, who'll be returning to the ring after a bloodbath against Sebastian Fundora in March, also chose Crawford as his favorite. He said, I haven't seen much of Madrimov, but I think Crawford's a technically great boxer, one of the best in this generation, so I think he'll get the job done.
But I think Crawford's a very technically great boxer, one of the best in this generation, so I think he'll get the job done.
Shawn Porter has also assessed his former rival Terence Crawford's chances of beating Israil Madrimov when the pair come to blows in August this year. This event marks the first stateside event put together by Turki Al Sheikh, chairman of the board of directors of the General Entertainment Authority of Saudi Arabia, and will be held at the BMO Stadium in Los Angeles. Porter and Crawford, of course, have history as the two American welterweights came to blows back in 2021. Crawford won that fight by stoppage, his 9th in a row at that time, and was the first man to halt Porter inside the distance, having also put him down twice in the 10th round. Crawford retained his belt that night and then went on to his epic showdown with longtime rival Errol Spence Jr. back in July of last year.
It's underrated for the most part.
Oh yeah, the power's underrated. I think, so this is what Madrimov does well. He's a great pressure fighter.
He was in fine form and eventually stopped Spence in the middle rounds, which saw him become the undisputed 4-belt king of the division, a feat which he has also piously achieved down at lightweight. Now, speaking at the launch press conference, Porter was asked for his views on how the fight with Madrimov might go while standing right next to Crawford himself.
He brings the mental and the physical pressure. Do what you do and do it as great as you can do it. Don't try to divert from that and do anything else.
My first time looking at it was just this morning. I watched some Madrimov, I think Terence. It always takes you a couple of rounds to see what these guys bring to you. I expect to see Madrimov in your face. I expect the stick to come out from Crawford. I expect him to start the fight orthodox. I think this is going to be a fun fight. You're going to have your hands full, but I think you will handle it. You always handle it. Some people are born to do what they do, and this kid is born to do what he does.
In preparation for a Terence Crawford, because for me, right, I've never gotten in a room with Terence, but I feel like his power is underrated.
Should Crawford come out victorious in his first tilt at World Honors in this new weight class, he will be well on the way towards competing for a chance to come undisputed in an unprecedented third separate weight class. The rest of the card will feature the likes of Abner Mares in a trilogy clash against Leo Santa Cruz, Andy Ruiz versus Jarrell Miller and heavyweight, and Isaac Cruz versus Mexico's Jose El Rayo Valenzuela for a 140 pounds belt.
That's what Crawford does, man. He gets you off your game, causes you to do some other things, and then you stumble. I appreciate that.
I had a quick question with the boxing community. They wanted me to ask, like, not just you, but just everybody.
Speaking on the fight back in April, Tim Bradley said Crawford would have crushed Madrimov. Hey, Crawford beats anybody he steps in the ring with, anybody. No one beats Terence Crawford, and everybody trying to age him out? Bro, the dude 2 weeks ago did 15 4-minute rounds. 12 with Shakur, 3 with Shakur's cousin. 4-minute rounds, 30 seconds rest. Think about that. He has a fight when? August. He's gonna crush this dude at 54. Madrimov, he's gonna crush him.
I probably would have never happened. But yeah, Crawford, on that note, yeah.
As the bout approaches, the Hall of Fame fighter turned analyst has adopted a more cautious take, as shown in a recent feature with ProBox TV. The ultimate goal is Terence Crawford wants to face Canelo Alvarez. He's on the tail end of his career. He said he only had a few fights left, and he wants to maximize as much money as he possibly can, and that's the Canelo fight. But you guys said it, Madrimov is no easy task. Terence has to get past him first.
Yeah, I think he stops him. And if he does, that's going to be the 4th weight class.
Former World Boxing Organization and World Boxing Council light welterweight champion Tim Bradley doesn't believe in any way that Crawford's August 3rd opponent, Israil Madrimov, can derail the Bud train.
Who did he face? He faced, who was the guy? It wasn't Brady Prescott. It was another guy he faced. Anyways.
Instead, he feels Crawford himself is the only man who can end his reign of terror over the sport. Tim Bradley says Terence Crawford beating himself is the only way he loses right now. I think the only person that can beat Crawford is himself at this point, Bradley told Fight Hype recently. Madrimov is the champion and he must be respected. But as far as skill for skill, Crawford all day.
It was a guy that moved down from, I can't remember right off the top of my head. I have it written down.
Prescott took up Prescott on short notice.
I think he'll do well against Canelo. I really do. Would I be nervous if they were to fight? Hell yeah, because Canelo can punch, and all it will take is one big punch. But as long as he uses his legs, his athleticism, and his defense to get out of the way, then he should be able to beat Canelo.
Handled him. No problem. Everybody was talking about the size, and everyone's talking about the strength, and talking about, you know, he gets hit. If he gets hit early on, he can go down, so on and so forth.
The former weight world champion, Andre Ward, has voiced his opinion on the potential super fight between Saul Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. Bud has been targeting Canelo ever since he put in a career-defining performance last year against welterweight rival Errol Spence Jr.
Bud is definitely one of them, for sure. Tyke Shakur, Devin.
Although the Mexican originally dismissed the fight, he recently admitted he would be prepared to defend his super middleweight titles against the naturally smaller man if the money was right. Speaking on the All the Smoke podcast, Ward, who retired with a perfect record of 32 wins from 32 fights, named the 2 matchups he wants to see most in boxing, while claiming Terence Crawford is unbeatable by Israil Madrimov or anyone else.
Bud is definitely one of them, for sure. Tyke Shakur, Devin, Boots.
Boots is one of my favorite.
It's a lot of them. It's a lot of them, and they skillful in different ways.
I want to see Canelo fighting Terence Crawford or David Benavidez. You have 2 options. You can go to somebody in your weight class, or you can try and pick on the smaller guy, Terence Crawford. On the potential Crawford-Canelo clash, his money would be on the man who last fought at 3 weight classes lower. I'm not betting against Terence right now against anybody, not doing it. Talking about the most skilled fighters in the game today, Ward says Crawford is someone you can bet your house on.
Somebody that, like, I can bet the house on is Bud.
Somebody I can bet the house on is Bud. Me and him are so much alike in our mentality. He's skillful, yes, but his heart and mind are different. There's not a lot of guys like that out there currently. There's a lot of guys that talk it, but until you get in that real fight, I'm not saying a guy you should beat. I'm saying a guy that is a 50-by-50 matchup, then we don't really know what you have. He's different. He's a dog. That's the stuff that gets me out of my seat. It means that when you need to be that guy, you can be that guy.
Because me and him, we so much alike.
Arguably one of the greatest boxers of our time, Floyd Mayweather, has made a big prediction about the highly anticipated match between Terence Crawford and Israil Madrimov.
A good fight.
You think the winner should get Canelo in the next one?
Mayweather, affectionately known as Money, believes this could potentially be the best fight of the year, drawing in countless boxing enthusiasts from around the globe. In a recent press conference, the undefeated champion did not hold back his opinions. I predict Crawford versus Madrimov will be one of the most exciting fights we'll see this year, Mayweather confidently stated. This is high praise, especially coming from a boxer who retired with an undefeated record of 50-0. Terence Crawford, the current WBO welterweight champion, is no stranger to intense, high-stakes fights. Mayweather went on to discuss the strategy he anticipates from both fighters. Both Crawford and Madrimov are going to bring their A game. They can't afford not to. Expect a night filled with electric energy and some unforgettable boxing, he told the press. He further advised both athletes to go beyond their comfort zones, push their boundaries, and keep their eye on the prize.
It's all for the WBA Super Welterweight.
Mayweather's endorsement of the Crawford versus Madrimov fight is a testament to the dynamism and skill that both pugilists showcase, further adding frenzy to the anticipation surrounding the fight. What makes Mayweather's prediction even more special is that he isn't known for making them regularly. His confidence in this fight and both boxers' abilities implies that he sees something unique and significant about the game, underlining the importance of the Crawford versus Madrimov showdown. While Madrimov may not have years of experience on his side like Crawford does, Mayweather suggests that this could be an advantage. Madrimov's fresh outlook and unconventional style could surprise Crawford, making the fight all the more interesting, Mayweather stated. He added that Crawford would need to utilize his vast experience and ring intelligence to combat Madrimov's unpredictability. In conclusion, both fighters have earned Mayweather's respect and recognition. Mayweather eagerly awaits the exceptional fight that he believes Crawford and Madrimov will put on, and boxing fans share his enthusiasm. And that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.